Joining us on this broadcast is WION's principal diplomatic correspondent Siddhant Sibal for more updates on this story. Siddhant, two major statements coming in from China today. First from the Foreign Ministry and then by the Chinese envoy to India. China is making the right noises today after an intense border standoff. Reports suggest that India was unwilling to let the status quo change at the LAC. What has prompted China's sudden de-escalation of posturing, both diplomatically and along the LAC?
Well, Shobit, consolatory comments by both the Foreign Ministry of China and the Chinese envoy here in Delhi, and talking about how elephant and the dragon can dance together. And in fact, both the comments vindicate WION's story of yesterday when WION first broke that how the Indian government sees the situation. The Indian government sees the situation as though sensitive but not dangerous. And also WION broke yesterday that how both sides are in touch with each other diplomatically and at local level when it comes to resolving any kind of misunderstanding that may have occurred. And now we have seen comments, the Chinese MOFA clearly saying the situation is stable, and the very, very positive comments by the Chinese envoy who spoke for approximately 30 minutes. WION was present at that Zoom conference which took place, and he talked about how both sides can come together at a time of COVID crisis. Largely he spoke about the COVID crisis, but he specifically talked about building of trust between both New Delhi and Beijing, continuation of the trust, and making sure that differences do not shadow any kind of the convergence which both sides have come together in last 2 years, especially after the Doklam crisis. Remember, after the Doklam crisis of 2017, both sides, the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Chinese President Xi Jinping, had met in Wuhan for informal summit in 2018 and gave guidance to the militaries of both the countries that regarding any misunderstanding that might have occurred, both sides should communicate, basically saying just pick up the call and resolve the problems. And that is something that both sides are now focusing on in the current crisis as well. And let me tell you, from Doklam crisis till the current crisis, it's not that there weren't any crises, there weren't any misunderstandings, or there weren't any clashes, but both sides were able to resolve it. What is different this time around was the presence, the huge presence of the Chinese on their side of LOC, and that was something that was worrisome, even though there weren't a lot of reactions by the Indian side or by the Chinese side. We know that from the Chinese side it was the Global Times, and from the Indian side it was the MEA, which said that Indian petrol was stopped by the Chinese. But by and large, all is well that ends well is something that that is the message by both Beijing and New Delhi.
Certainly, both India and China will hope to de-escalate tensions along the line of actual control. Thank you so much, Siddhant, for joining us.